You won't believe the story I'm about to tell. The truth is funnier than you think. When I was 7, a catastrophe hit my hometown, and my dad actually sold me. Yes, sold me. 13 was a year to remember, especially that one night. I almost took a dive into the backyard's instant shop. What a charmer I was. But my mother-in-law wasn't having any of it. She roared like a lion, shouting, "Child, you can't do that." I had to endure, and endure. And that endure turned into a 20-year saga. What a patience legend. Aunt Xiang couldn't hold back her tears, and the Japanese lady, misunderstanding, thought she didn't like the silk scarf. Had no idea what they chatted about. Aunt Xiang saw the Japanese lady hurriedly leave and curiously asked the secretary where she went. She went to Mr. Yamaguchi, her husband, or was it her business partner, Ms. Shin Yoshiko? She never married for her career. Maybe Mr. Yamaguchi was her potential boyfriend. A lover? Oh boy, that's pretty trendy broad. Aunt Xiang's heart raced at that thought. She grabbed the note left behind and dialed, only to find out the guy was already off work celebrating a kid's birthday. Suddenly, loneliness hit her like a freight train. She was all alone in the car while Jinhai stayed back in the city. It dawned on her she had been with no other choice. She sadly turned to leave, heading home with her high-tech gadgets as the director came over for a visit. Aunt Xiang couldn't stop thinking about her son's wedding, so she told the director, "Hey, I heard some loans won't be enforced. This lover's house. I mean, really, that would be Who Sense N's place." The director caught her hint, but they dropped it. Before leaving, Aunt Xiang even gifted him a bottle of sesame oil. That night, the director visited Who Sense N's home for the loan, and Aunt Xiang proposed. For family crisis, Who Sense N reluctantly agreed, demanding a $15,000 bride price. Aunt Xiang struggled, but finally agreed, with one condition: the wedding must happen within 10 days. A few days later, the wedding boat cruised in from the instant shop's end, with cheers outside while Who Sense N felt like an alien. Her eyes brimmed with sadness, as if seeing her numb self. Yet Aunt Xiang was over the moon. She hired the town's top band, invited all villagers, and Dunzai, now normal, toasted with Who Sense N. Everything went smoothly until the bridal chaos, when Dunzai's illness recurred and she ran off with Who Sense N's underwear. The guests burst into laughter, leaving Aunt Xiang both embarrassed and furious. In her fury, she shoved her son back into the bridal chamber, only to find the wedding room door wide open later that night. She hurried in and saw her son fast asleep. Lifting the quilt, she saw now red, thinking, the money can't vanish. Aunt Xiang hurried to find Who Sense N and finally spotted her in the backyard's instant shop, cleaning up bite marks. Seeing her helpless back, Aunt Xiang remembered her own self 20 years ago, but held back, instead advising Who Sense N to live steadily, just like her mother-in-law did for her. Somehow, she turned into the very figure she once despised. Soon, Who Sense N adapted to her new role and took over Aunt Xiang's chores. This made Aunt Xiang's life much easier. Once her son's woes were sorted, her own life got richer, too. Every time her husband sneaked out to watch those films, she'd bring her lover home and then chat about those Japanese ladies and their lovers. After hearing all this, Aunt Xiang's feelings were mixed. 2 decades of sacrifice, and all her hopes were riding on her. Yet the guy just viewed her as a mistress, which was hard for her to swallow. Suddenly, Who Sense N's scream came from the next room. Dunzai's seizure had her choking her tightly. Bruised all over and terrified, she thought she married a fool, but that fool might take her life. In fear, Who Sense N rode back to her family. Aunt Xiang, feeling hopeless, sought out a match. Even with the matchmaker's visit, Who Sense N refused to return. Dunzai, unaware upon waking, fussed over the withered lotus all day. Aunt Xiang's headache from the noise worsened, charging to Who Sense N's place, seeing her daughter-in-law in tears. With a stern face, she warned, "You're my daughter-in-law I bought for $15,000. Why are you always at your parents'?" Initially, you knew Dunzai was ill. It wasn't by choice, right? Now if you don't want to go back, that's fine. Just bring me my money, with interest. Hand it all over. Hearing this, Who Sense N could only swallow her bitterness, following Aunt Xiang back to her painful home. Harvest time rolled around again, and everyone was busy while Aunt Xiang's husband just drank and parted. That night, he got so drunk he didn't know what hit him. Aunt Xiang brought up wanting their daughter to continue her studies, hoping she could go to a good university in the future, but her husband shut her down, believing educating girls was a way. Saying this, the husband wanted to have a heart-to-heart with Aunt Xiang, but she was not having it. Although she managed her sesame oil business with great success, the significant gender disparity during that era rendered her helpless, forcing her to endure her husband's abuse. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more exciting stories ahead.